All right, traders, welcome back to the Desire to Trade channel. Well, we've got a lot of questions about strategy and when to enter and all that, but really the dominant questions that we get as coaches and the tasks we need to help traders overcome is about their emotional integrity, all right? When they fall off the map, FOMO, all right? Trying to chase trades, things like that. We've all done it, but how do we overcome it? Sometimes these videos get a little psychobabble online. All right, here's some quick hacks that you could take starting Monday to get you back on track. Let's get to it. All right, so rather than have some 10 one-hour sessions, you want some quick hacks, don't you? Let's start with the first one. This whole thing of overcoming emotional triggers, the first step is about identifying. If you can't identify them, you can't do anything about it. So rather than me, I'm not the expert. Let's use Jared Tendler's work to figure out the solutions, quick hacks that work, are effective, and you could put in practice as of Monday. So the first thing, a lot of these emotional triggers that end up falling into risk of ruin or blowing your account, they started with that one tiny spark. You know, the building fire, they all start with one tiny spark, not a big explosion. So what we want to do is identify the small little things, and you want to use your journal, write it down to make sure you identify them and you track them. Say, for example, maybe after you get stopped out by a tick and then it runs and hits your target. Mark that in your journal. What do you do with that? How do your trades after that affect your final results? What was the size on those trades? You know, when we're looking at audits, we see the size doubles right there. It says FOMO, and you're trying to make up for losing trades. Recipe for disaster. So first tip, mark down in your journal what events are triggering those emotional triggers. Next hack, and it's a little bit of a frustrating one, but the ones that do it work out well. After you've had a losing trade and you feel you're a little tense, shut the platform down. You can restart it later. It may do some damage to your laptop, but really, it probably saved your account. Think about it. What's the first thing you want to do is get back into another trade. Shut it down, walk away, repower up later. That little hack can save you thousands and possibly your trading career. All right, next one. Simple task, but kind of tough. We've all been in that situation. Simple result, simple solution, walk away, all right? Go feed the dog, go to Costco, okay? Just do anything you can, but walk away. It's such a simple thing, but I know it's hard to do. But what I want you to do, the simple hack is, when you're ready to walk away, but you don't want to do it, you want to go back in the trade, think about your why. Why are you doing this trading and stuff in the first place? Think of the higher purpose. Is it your family, your kids, your financial security? Maybe I don't want to explain to my spouse that I went off the rails, right? That little trigger, thinking about your why, and put a picture of it on top of your monitor. Right? Look at that, say, okay, I need to do this, not just for me, I need to do this for my mission as a trader. Okay, next hack in the identification circle. What are the things that you do after you have a losing trade or a frustrating trade that you can identify you tend to do it a lot? I found out, and I had a coach who helped me with this, he noticed I would chuckle after a losing trade, like one that kind of got me, like, yeah, sure, like almost like being sarcastic, like the market was listening to me. But he recognized that pattern. So that's the identifiable trigger. That's the tiny spark. Mark that in your journal, sarcastic chuckle, or whatever you do, all right? Maybe pound your fist or like, oh, that little shrug, that's gold. Identify it and track it and see how you do in your results after you hit that trigger. All right, next quick hack. This is easy. You have a cell phone, right? Talk to someone, anyone, coach, mentor, trading buddy, right? If you're part of a community and trader community, just send a little note to them or something. Something to just break it up. Let that be the trigger and let them say, hey, take a break. You know, sometimes listening to someone is more effective than listening to yourself because let's face it, we're our own biggest demons. All right, a couple more hacks. And again, these are quick. Rapid fire you could start on Monday morning. Think about this. What just happened that looks like the end of the world? Maybe it's just market variance. It's just market activity doing this thing. It's not going to go up like a rocket ship every day. And sometimes even the best have losing streaks. And those losing streaks are usually frustrating trades, like the ones I mentioned earlier where it hits your stop and then runs to the target. I know, I've been there. Still trouble for me to deal with. But understand that, you know what? It's okay. It's market variance and it's part of the game that we play. Embrace it, understand it, and recognize maybe it's not always your fault. All right, And the last one, a little bonus one for you. This is kind of important, all right? Recognize, or have maybe your trading partner recognize, are you cutting any corners, particularly on the pre-market preparation, right? A lot of times we see when this activity happens, it's the person in the mirror, not the markets. So look as your pre-market prep. Are you cutting out doing those journals? Are you not looking at charts as much? All right, how about those weekends doing your prep for the week? Are you cutting any corners? That could be the spark that's triggering all this negative outcome. So you may ask the question, how do you know when you're cutting corners, right? Well, what does your trading plan say? Trading plans shouldn't always be just about strategy. It should also be a regimented checklist about your pre-market routine. So when you do this thing, check box, check. And give yourself permission. If you haven't checked all the boxes, guess what? You can't trade that day. That will force you to get into the groove of having pre-market prep right on your plan. Make a commitment, and be honest with yourself. Because if you start working at firms or trading capital, they're not going to allow you to trade either. To wrap this up, we understand that recognizing emotional triggers is deep. It can go well beyond the trading platform. Maybe something that's happened in your childhood that you're kind of carrying on to the trading desk. We understand. And as trading coaches, this is also sort of a challenge for us as well. Understand that these quick hacks may not be full-fledged solutions, and you may need to take a deeper dive. But we found that most of the errors and most of the things that are causing these triggers can be solved with these little hacks. Let me know which ones that resonate with you. What were the ones where your light bulb went off and your eyes lit up? Say, I'm going to try that one. Or maybe ones that you say, you know what, doesn't help me at all. Let me know in the comments below. We'll check them out. Send me your feedback. And if there's any other topics on emotional triggers, let me know. We're going to spend a lot of time in 2025 focusing on this big barrier to your success. Okay, so where you're identifying the ones that you're going to start implementing on Monday, take a deeper dive. There's a really cool podcast video with Jared Tendler himself, which really gets into the meat of these little cruxes of emotional triggers. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.